So it's question and answer time. I generally address questions in the comments section, but there was a few that I saved for a future Q&A video. And it's approaching 2 months of those people waiting, so I wanted to make sure they didn't feel left out. And then there was a question that asked to further explain a exercise that I got from a lesson, and it'd be better to do it in this kind of video where I can show you. So here we go. Robert Bugos asks, what are you giving up if you do something else for money but still play music, play gigs, make records, etc.? Instead of teaching or playing more gigs, could it be smart to find something else that's still more enjoyable? And then eventually would you get, energy zapped from that? I don't think it would, depending on what you do. I worked in food service for on and off for 9 years, 10 years, and just about every single position too. Is caterer, busser, runner, waiter, bartender. With that kind of flexible schedule, no, on days that it did burn me out, it was one day. So the difference between that and say like a 9 to 5, aka 9 to 6 with an unpaid hour for lunch in the middle, plus an hour on either side for commuting, that 5 days in a row might burn me out quite a bit more. That's why you see so many, creative types, musicians, actors, writers, etc., in these flexible jobs. There are other flexible jobs, obviously, but you can actually make some pretty good money as you work your way up. Even if you have to start at busser or something like that, if you work your way up to waiter and then work at a nice place, you can make really solid money really quickly. So no, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think it's just a different experience, basically. Not a bad decision whatsoever. And it'll certainly take a lot of pressure off as far as like constantly searching for gigs and, oh no, am I going to have enough next month? Because unless you work at a brand new restaurant, it'll probably be around for a while. That being said, if you want to like build a career, which will probably take a lot of your time and be closer to a 9 to 5, you might find yourself zapped for music energy, but it'd be a big difference if you were like playing 10 hours a day and then all of a sudden you weren't playing at all. That might be a little weird. But if you're practicing, a couple hours a day, or you have one project that you just write songs for periodically, you can kind of get that done on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, honestly. And then as far as I can tell from people who've had 9 to 5s, there is a lot of time where you're not doing anything. So if you're writing lyrics and you're, for your song, you could probably get it done then. For a long amount of time, it'll definitely be your whole life. It'll be all of your time. Next up, Worm Man, and then I can't pronounce, unfortunately, asks, how did you know that you wanted to do music professionally, and what did you do to make that happen? I don't know. I think I was kind of testing the waters there. I think I knew I wanted to do it pretty soon after playing. I was like, man, this feels great. If I could just keep doing this, that'd be great. What did I do to make it happen? Well, I saw, my heroes went to Berkeley, Steve Vai and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, let me go there. And then I did. And then after that, it was like, well, let me get all the skills I can possibly get. And I did my best. And then, all right, moved to a music hub. And then I moved to a music hub, New York City, moved to Williamsburg, Brooklyn with a bass player and drummer who you may know as Adam and Sean of Sungazer. And we played with unknown amount of people, like anyone and everyone, as a trio or as a duo or whatever. Basically that was kind of it. That was what let me down that road. But it changed when I got there. I thought I was going to move there and do a bunch of original stuff, and then all my original projects died. And then I was, playing behind people, and I was like, I guess I do this now, and let me figure out what this life is about, and let me figure out other avenues, because apparently the original game can really disappoint you. And then I also just fell into teaching. I said yes to some teaching gig that led to another teaching gig that led to another, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden I was doing it professionally. Even then though, even when I was making enough money from music that I didn't have to do it, I still did work a summer job, like day job, 2 days a week, being a waiter, because it was very good money. Put your pride aside. If you live in like LA or New York or places where you can work at a nice restaurant, people spend lots of money there. I would end up making serious cash in 2 days, and then it was wedding season and making a bunch on the weekend. And it was like, oof, no amount of lull in like January or February. It wouldn't bother me whatsoever. I could save up for the entire year over the course of a summer. Ryan Dillahay asks, I'm just starting my music degree, but I always like to ask people what their first step after school was or would be when looking to do music professionally. Thanks. So the first step after school would have been just moving to a music hub. I went to school in Boston, and a lot of people did stay there. They moved to Allston nearby and would grind it out there, but it seemed like New York was just a bigger pool. So I went there, and that would be the main one. The first step is move to a new place. And then some people don't say this, but I thought it was a good idea, which is say yes to everything. I took $50 gigs, $75 gigs, first gig free gigs. That I might recommend a little less, but if the person's nice or the music's good or the musicians are good, yeah, absolutely for free. I don't care. Taking every single gig under the sun really helped my network, my community, as well my experiences, because playing a cabaret and then playing like a blues club and then playing like a hip hop show and then playing like a, country bar or whatever, very different experiences, very different like politics with how the night is run. And all that stuff was fascinating to me. And I just wanted to learn as much of it as I could. And doing so gave me just a lot of experience in playing live and dealing with people. So yeah, I'd suggest that. Ryan asks, again, normally, I can't say normally because I've only been doing this for 2 months, but normally I wouldn't have 2 questions from the same person. But Ryan does a great job of asking every single week. And I know he mentioned, I was intrigued by that standard exercise you mentioned. Would you consider expanding on that in a video? And I think, it'd be nice to have a little lesson right now. So here you go. So this is about playing chords over jazz standards. I'm going to pick There Will Never Be Another You because it's one of my favorites. And I'm going to show you how I would play it and how the lesson would help me play. So starting off, if I was just to play it in like regular drop 2s and everything, I might start playing the song like E flat. Sounds nice, sure. And the point of this is taking it very slowly. I have the ability to take my time with the chords I pick. I might be picking those kinds of chords because they're easier to get to, and I practice them a million times, and I play them for many different kinds of genres. Something like this, though, or something. And I would take it much slower than that. So let's start with an E6. And I know I have to get here. How can I do that? That sounds nice, but if I want to add chromatics, right there, I can add chromatics here again. There's like a little nice 4-note grouping. That'd be kind of nice. I could add it here. See, there's things that I might not necessarily hear if I'm just trying to get through it. If I'm just trying to like play it as I know it. thing that comes out, in my playing at least, is like kind of a little cutesy country. This thing, which is not jazz. So there you have it. Thank you guys for asking questions. And thank you so much to everyone who asked questions who I address in the comments section. I really appreciate you guys watching and interacting with me. It's just fun to talk to you guys. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next week.